which maybe
Okay, thank you for that great introduction. And we're going to just get started. The first thing I do want to put to your attention is that there is a food survey. I'm going to encourage you to fill that out. We're going to have Mr. Governor Patel come around later on. I'm sorry? Okay, well, just make sure you have this on your phone so you can fill it out after we actually view the introduction. We're going to start off with a video. It's very quick. Okay. I'm going to bring Vijay Uncle right back, and he'll, I guess, introduce us to the next part of our program.
So very good morning to everybody. So already Dr. Dinesh Patel has told a few things about the seminar, but I will also take you from some other items. Introduction to physical science. Today we know that progress of computer science is various disciplines like nanotechnology, stem cells, genetics, information, so-called word particles. I'd like to introduce Dr. Suresh Mehta. Thank you for starting this speech. I'd like to be coming all the way from India as a eye surgeon. Sorry about I'm not going to organize the text of looking as it comes from science. So, progress of the various disciplines of science have given us a lot of amenities and comforts. It's sitting right here, I can connect to the plane of the globe. But do I connect from my heart to the fellow sitting next to me? So when I look inside, do I have the ultimate happiness, harmony, or rich feelings in a day? And if it is not there, then there is the need for the study of science here to resolve my inner issues. It is said that in one part of the ways you put out the comforts and amenities, in the other part you put the inner happiness and harmony. Both should be balanced, or there should be minimal difference. If the outer happiness is very high, but the inner happiness is meager, then person may use sleeping pills or psychiatric medicines or some sort of thing, and it is unfortunately highest in USA. So actually to say science is one which can make humans happy in all perspectives, from within and without, especially from within. So what is holistic inner science? It is the science of my whole life and living, sense of I, with my mind, body, speech, and surroundings along with the nature, the regulatory system, or the laws of nature. If we go deeper down, it's the science of my relative self and real self, or Purusha and Prakriti, science of pure consciousness and matter. If you see around, government scientists are now trying to understand body, mind, as well as consciousness, what's all around. It tries to answer what is in my life, what is not. In other words, what is the part of faith or dependence in the life and part of free or independence in the life. It can give you the answers of charge and discharge, the cause and effect of particles. So exactly to say our own human life is an ongoing, unique life experiment of the universe. And when I say this is an experiment, naturally what is the part of experiment and who is the experimenter? So my mind, body, speech, and circumstances outside, along with the natural regulatory system, makes the experiment when it is living as I am. With what understanding I living, it is a dynamic state of being, makes the experimenter. So it gives us everything from art and science of daily living to absolute pure knowledge that is the ultimate. It can talk everything about the cosmos or universe. And what is the basis? This was experienced and revealed as absolute ones, known as the Exaltaras or enlightened ones. But what is most important is it can be experienced by one and all, following the same, and thousands are experiencing the same. Now, how does this work? What about it is, as you see, it is the holistic inner science, and Dr. Dinesh is rightly said this is your journey, or journey of my inner self. So there's a mind, reflective consciousness, intellectual ego, there's the role of beliefs and opinions, I and mind, and of course, if the understanding is correct of any experiment, the results will be desirable without much of effort. But if the understanding is incorrect, there is a lot of puzzles. So, graphical representation, whatever we perceive from outside, before going to the machinery of mind, reflecting consciousness, intellect and ego, my visions or beliefs do come in between. Even if they are the same, but all of us will perceive and experience and react differently. Is that right? So, what is the difference? This one. And it is here that the holistic science tries to work. So, coming to how we connect with the modern world. So modern scientists are trying to understand body, mind, consciousness connection. And as far as the mind is concerned, we heard about, we can see a lot of things about conscious mind, subconscious mind. Then there's a brain. We have finished and feel that everything comes from the electrical circuitry of the brain. But we forward feel that the mind is the primary thing which affects the brain. Then there's the body, autonomic nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic. And all of us know that stress is a big word nowadays, and we have a lot of psychosomatic diseases. So, just a fast journey is the brain going right down to the spinal cord, and if you see all the effects do occur right throughout the body. You may not go deeper, but this is just to give an idea. This is not only a thought or not only a thought of wisdom, it does have effect all throughout our being. Same thing on this, it works to the cellular level of the body. Each cells do respond. When you get affected, there are enough studies to suggest that the stress releases various hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These are various glands of the body which get affected during the stress through different hormones. And different conditions of mind do have the effect even on the immune system of the body. If you are having a lot of negativities or a lot of stress, you are susceptible to diseases, and reverse is also true. Now there are enough proofs that attitudes and thoughts have a role in disease or the management of the disease, and these are through references normal as you see first so that there can be healing by positive attitudes. There is a whole branch of transpersonal psychology which says that the spiritual dimensions can be used to take the people, and these are the different people. Dr. Jayapurvasti, he has a book, Change Your Mind and Change Your Life. So there is a branch, American Institute of Holistic or Alternative Medicine, known as AIHA, which tries to understand mind, body, spirit medicine. And some of you may be doing that this mindful living, mindfulness-based stress reduction is also playing a big role. But why I'm putting it all here? Because all this is going around in the world, and holistic science not only includes this, but it gives you much more than this in a very easy, effortless way. There have been studies about metaphysical bodies or mental bodies, and some scientific correlations or thoughts can affect the physical matter and trust physical outcome. There was a scientist, but unique in Temple University, Philadelphia. He came out with the finding that there is a definite interaction between consciousness and matter. There was another scientist, Professor Frederick Prince, working at Iowa. He said that the more brain of an enlightened person works as well in totally synchronized, totally coherent way. So, coming back to holistic neuroscience, it is all inclusive and all comprehensive. It is useful and beneficial to learn all, irrespective of caste, color, creed, nationality, faith, or socioeconomic status. It says that the universe is within and everything is part of whole and interconnected. Benefits, he has already said, so I'm not going over it. He has already said that please make it live by asking as many questions as you can or as the time permits. Even after that seminar is over, they are accessible for the questions which are released. Now, what about holistic scientists? One who has the thorough experience of real self and relative self, one whose all leadership and mindless ego is vanished, who can throw the light on the science of consciousness and matter related to consciousness, and most importantly, has only wished that this science reach to one and all, so that they all can attain peace and happiness. And this is being shared and not being sold. for any dollars or for any material gain. And hardly you will find a place in the world where the things are shared but not sold or not for sale. Raghu Dada is the founder visionary. He was the first founder visionary in this one. And if you happen to hear the word Dada, the one meaning the name, please let me clarify that he is not one which is seen in the picture, but one manifest meaning in the form of your absolute knowledge life, your absolute vision life, and infinite bliss. Most importantly, it is the real self of all of us. It is the Dada Bhagwan, but it is to be realized and to be manifested. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sailajananji. And sorry for not having been able to introduce him earlier, but this is Dr. Sailajananji from India. He is an ophthalmologist by trade, and he is also owns his own clinic in India, and he practices and contributes his free time to travel back and spread the knowledge of this vision. So next on our agenda is we want to encourage you to fill out the survey. It's a little question and answer. We're going to have Mr. Bhupendra come around later to pick it out. So do your best to fill it out, and then we can also collect it later.
I think the last piece is not the question and they're on party.
I can just review one through the questions. Question number one, are you aware of the inner self and its function? You can say yes or no or somewhat. There are three choices. Second, do you really know the purpose of your life? Yes or no? And then my scores. My happiness and fulfillment score on the scale low to high. If it is low, you can put no, high is 10. My score of happy, harmonious, and meaningful living, again, low is 1 and high is 10. My score is husband. If I have to score myself as husband, usually I will score the highest. But be honest, my score is a high and vice versa also. How much I score for my counterpart? My score is memory of children. My score is human being. Clashes. I have inner clashes, often, occasionally or never. I have outer clashes, often, occasionally or never. Eight things adjust everywhere. I do find it difficult to adjust with others in work, often, occasionally or never. Often means I often find to adjust. It is difficult to adjust with others at work, or I find it new. Or that means I can always adjust. I do find it difficult to adjust with family members, often, occasionally, or never, or with my own self. This is very, very important. Can you adjust your own self in all the situations? That means, are you at rest or can you resolve your own self? Ninth is, are you aware of all beliefs being harbored and effects thereof? 10. Would you like to change certain beliefs for better? 11. Are you always conscious about your own opinions? And 12. Is your behavior affected by others' opinions? 13. Does your vision remain positive under challenging and adverse situations? 14. Is, have you ever thought what is in my environment, what is not? Whether I am an independent goal? And last, did you ever contemplate who I am? So this is a questionnaire and it has the importance because somebody is going to do the scientific research survey and publish a report. So please put your age and name of female. Name is optional, you may not put that. If you wish, you can, otherwise not. But please put your age and name of female because that means that when the paper is being published. Thank you very much. Sorry to put but it was required.
And so we'll give you guys a few minutes to fill it out, and then we will continue with our next session. our next part, we're just going to do a few experiences. We're going to have a few of us share 5 minutes of an experience that relates to this vision. And I'm going to start off by introducing Ms. Shayla Wilchie. She has been a very key personnel in also helping conduct this and being a very good leader in terms of helping us out with the seminar as well. So if you please help me and welcome me, Ms. Shayla Wilchie.
Welcome, good morning, everybody. It's great to see all these faces here in the Massachusetts Charitable Research Foundation. Many familiar faces and lots of new faces as well. So welcome. The topic that I had chosen to speak upon today is holistic inner understanding is maintaining peace at home. You know, this is easy for all of us, right? No challenges at home. It's cakewalk, right? It's simple, no problem. Home is like home sweet home, right? Well, in today's complex world, it really doesn't seem to work that way for all of us. And we're all faced with living in a very sophisticated, fast-moving world. And as far as myself, this holistic inner understanding has helped to really smooth the edges in an environment, especially in home place. I don't know if you all agree with me, but I think peace begins within us. If we don't have it within us, then we're not going to have it with anybody else. Would that be true? Anybody agree with that? If we're at peace, then we're able to share that peace with other people. So it's up to us to make our home a home sweet home. And peace in relationships with each other are critically more important, especially in the home place, than being right. We all want to be right, because our little egos want to be right. But especially in the home place, I found, having raised 3 young men who are now 20, 22, and 25, and being married to a man for 27 years, it's taught me that being right is not always the most important thing. It's critically more important to aim for having that harmony and peace in the home. And life has faced us with many different experiences that have called upon me to really come to a point where I realize that being right is not so important. And there's a good friend of mine, just back there, named J.C. Young, and just wanted to share that what's really worked in raising 3 young men, one just graduated, he's our middle son, our oldest son has graduated, he's working now, and our youngest is also in college, is practicing active listening from the Heart Center. We tend to want to listen to the words that are coming out of people's mouths. Normally, especially in the home place, the things people are saying usually are really, truly irrelevant to what they're really trying to tell the people that they're closest to around them. So if we learn to listen with our heart and our mind, but let our hearts lead, it really helps us to find a common place with the people that we're living with. This has been my experience, and I'm just sharing it. The goal is really to cultivate true harmony, caring, and affection in our homes. And I found that, having raised these 3 young men in college, and, all the challenges that we face, financial challenges, all of that, people are far more important than money and things, especially in home place. It's just, if it comes down to avoiding conflict for the sake of a few dollars, even $100, $200, $900, it's been my experience that avoiding conflict is always our best choice. Money comes, money goes. However, relationships can be extremely difficult to mend once they're broken. Broken hearts and fractured minds are tremendous liabilities to harmony and peace in our homes. And many of us here come from the Indian tradition, and Peter, our guest speaker, he's from the Italian tradition, and we tend to have extended family. And when you have extended family, it really lends itself to making things a little bit more complicated. And so if we can just keep our priorities in the right order, it just helps to avoid those kind of logs in the home that can create relationship strains that can't be mended. They're just not worth creating those breaks. Don't be afraid to admit mistakes, to smooth out strained relations in our home. Just simply admonishing to making a mistake and humbly, asking for forgiveness. That's not going to diminish our place in our home. It's actually going to make us appear more human, more open. And if there's been, how many of us, have found that there's people in our homes who sometimes we do have strained relationships. There is communication gaps that we would like to truly avoid. But by opening our hearts up and just simply admitting to a mistake, especially between a parent and child or vice versa, a child to a parent, it can really open up the channels of communication. The egos soften and the hearts start opening up. A positive attitude from within always helps lift everyone in the home. Actively cultivating a positive attitude of gratitude, giving, and humility from within through, you can utilize many things, introspective affirmations, cleansing, whatever works for you, whether it's meditation, whether it's a little bit of yoga, whatever you need in order to center your mind and your body so that you're able to share something of value with people around you in your home. And we all lead extremely busy lives here in Southern California. Whether we're homemakers or we work, or we're retired for that matter. Life is just very fast-paced. You should be a retired person, but people might say, oh, what do you do all day? You're retired. Life is still extremely, you have to go with the flow that's around you. And so if you can find a way to keep your attitude positive from within, just wake up, count the blessings, have gratitude, that you're able to get out of bed. It's a lot of people who can't do that. That you're able to speak, that you can breathe freely. If you just start with little things, that attitude of gratitude becomes really like second nature. And it really, really helps cultivate harmony in the home. If we make a list of all the virtues of every person in the home environment, I know this is something that may seem a little tedious, it might even seem a little pretentious, but it really works. This is something I've personally done. Not just my immediate family, but I have a huge extended family. There's my dad who moved over there. We are a huge family, probably over 1,000 of us here in Southern California. And just being able to see the virtues in everybody. What happens when we see virtues in someone else, those virtues start growing within us. And it's a simple equation that it does work. And finally, validate, honor, respect, and uphold the virtues and divinity within each other. It's a domino effect. If we continually validate, honor, and respect the virtues and the divine and people around us, they will, in turn, learn to do the same for each other. It's a process that occurs by osmosis. It's a spontaneous process, but it has to start with us. So if we make a decision on serenity, healing, and empowerment from within, rather than expectations and standards that lead to conflict, clashes, and dissension, our family members are more likely to be relaxed and empowered when they know they are loved for who they are unconditionally, rather than who we want them to be. One of the biggest things that we experience is the generational gap between grandparents, grandchildren, children. There's huge gaps. It's because of our expectations and the conditions that we set. So anyway, just wanted to share, maintaining peace at home, holistic inner understanding and vision. Of course, the grace of our great holistic guide, G, has been a tremendous asset for me and husband. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a very nice experience. And now we're going to continue with our sessions, so we apologize for kind of skipping around the agenda, but kind of bear with us. We're going to get started with our next session, and our next speaker who has also traveled all the way from India. We have Mr. Deepak Mistry, and he is an electrical engineer by trade. He He's a celibate of Jesus Sami in India, and he's an experienced holistic inner science practitioner. So I want to welcome him today. He's going to give a topic on holistic science and integral living.
After the brief introduction to holistic inner science by Dr. Mehta and the evaluation form, so I understand that you all are be aware of what is really your inside. And I hope that after going through this presentation and the whole day program, it will definitely change your mindset. Let's go further. That's me. We try to understand, as Dr. Mehta already explained, holistic science really means to understand what is the science between the relative quality of life and our real potential being who we are inside. And if we really see today, we are going for holistic food, holistic medicine, holistic way of life. So we really want to know and understand what it really means. And the best of it is what? Within every one of us, at the core, we have this science working within us to be aware of it. So that it becomes our duty to throw some light on this, so that we become aware of it. Great science that is working is common in all of us. Although outside we profess different beliefs, different religion, different nationality, different professions, so everyone understand. And the understanding of scientific meaning says that knowledge is gained through experience. And very important is it is a natural phenomenon. Science is a natural phenomenon because we all are natural beings. So when we understand that in a science which is working within us, it will be a great experience. And integral living, what we need, wholesome living, so that we are always part of the whole. No, we are whole in ourselves. So let us experience that completeness, that fullness, and that absoluteness. It needs to be explored. And we say that why should we really go for holistic science? Let us ask ourselves, do I live a normal life? Am I happy, cheerful, and content? It's like when I ask someone to take a photograph deeply, and you big smile, and might even say cheeks several times. But then, where is the cheer from inside? With this knowledge of science, we really open our cheerfulness, which is our nature, actually. What is the goal of my life? And why am I running around? What if I get a terminal illness? Is that very common today? Yes. Everybody is so much scared and worried that, oh God, I should not get into that. But what if you get into that? Then there are solutions which are given by the holistic science, and if we really understand that, it changes our perspective in life totally. And am I ready for every situation in my life? Many times I remember one of my friends saying that, oh God, now that I'm married, we should never part. We should remain together the way I love her. She says the way that we are love him. But it's right. It can happen. One of them has to pass away one day. But one who is prepared for that, then is ready for the eventually the other side. And we talk about mental baggage. Do we have the carry those baggage? Are we affected by all those things? And how can I achieve the best in my life? How to handle the different situations, relations in life? Oh, people say, practice yoga, meditation, mindfulness, have a lot of gratitude. Now, unless I understand the purpose of my life, what really I am doing, I cannot really have gratitude for what I have already got from people, from my parents, from my friends, from my teachers, from my relations. And do I have control over everything? Just imagine. Or I feel everything is in my control. These are some of the very important things. The behavior, everything in my hand, the way I speak is in my hand. And after all, who am I? So the other day, I asked someone, what is your name? You know what reply I got? I am David. When I asked someone's name, I expected answer as my name is David. So here we need to understand the difference between my name is David and I am David. And when we really know who I am, then that aspect of mine, when I say I am David, will not be there. My name is David is correct. And what is this holistic living? We know that we have the inner self, which will be taken by the next section. We have the outer self, and we need balance between the inner and the outer one. We talk of self-realization, relative self, and all that stuff, career, money, health, but then we need balance in every aspect of our life. Whether at home, whether at work, whether I'm outside, whether I'm dealing with anyone, my boss, my superiors, my underlings, my employees, and I try to evaluate myself by finding that what is my intellectual quotient. People do have wonderful intellectual quotient, but they are very bad emotionally. Mental quotients are extremely low. And talking about spiritual quotient, what normally people talk about that, is a question mark. So holistic science really brings balance in all these three, which really defines our health into balance. Okay. We will try to highlight when really the problems arise, whether they are inside or outside. I go to a birthday party or a marriage, also ceremony, but if I am not received and welcomed nicely, I feel that what is the purpose of my time? I feel bad. And if I was received and welcomed properly, within applause, whether I was served or was taken care of properly or not, I feel happy. So where is that happiness? All of that happiness. With my spouse, with my friends, there are always differences. What we need to understand here is the other person's viewpoint, what they believe, what they understand. And once we understand the other person's viewpoint, let's say when we are driving, do we follow the road or we drive and the road becomes better? No, we have to follow the road. We cannot change the road. What it means, the world is not going to change for me, but I will have to adjust to the world. And this is a very key aspect of holistic science. And it is highlighted in detail. You can go and evaluate our own life. I got a car with some great discount, And then I come to know that my friend who took after, say, 3 to 6 months after me, he got a better discount. Now, the same car which I was very proud that I got a good price, I start feeling bad. See, these are some of the very common aspects. So we want to understand, I am happy or unhappy because of situation, someone, or me. And here it is revealed by the basic science that I am only so responsible for myself. He is a very famous person, Mr. Emerson, and he has said that what lies before or behind us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. We are more concerned about what is surrounding us. And the moment we start looking within us, we start working positively because whatever is what we are inside, what we come across outside. So inner effects are based on belief, opinions, and biggest of all, our weaknesses are especially pride, greed. And can we say that we are free from greed and pride? Everyone has this weakness. It is good to have for self-respect, but when it is in excess, it is not a problem. Our own attitude and beliefs are responsible for our disaster. Now, how are we supposed to handle these inner effects? Here, holistic science gives a one-home solution. So, we receive information from the five senses, and based on vision, vision truly relates to our belief, what I believe. And if my belief is positive, then no matter what I come across, I can handle the situation very positively. So the holistic science opens our vision of positivity within us and it helps us handle any situation of our life very positively. And that's how it reflects on our mind, our intellect that makes decisions, our reflective consciousness which wanders around, you can give information of situation, and our ego always of the world always want to claim that I did everything when I succeed, but when I fail, I look around for someone to blame. Don't we experience that? And now, our happiness, does it depend on outside? As Dr. Henry has pointed out, in today's time, there are a lot of outside comforts, but with those outside comforts increasing in the days we speak, our inner happiness has drastically fallen down. So, too much of outside comforts are really not good for the inner health. And holistic science opens our inner vision, our inner sight, inside into ourselves. Whether it is there in sensual pleasure, we don't say that don't enjoy all this. If it is there, you will enjoy, but have an inner vision that this, when it begins, I will be very happy. But everything that begins has an end. We don't want to see the end. But we eventually come across that end and we are very happy. This happiness, we keep comparing ourselves. Dr. Mehta speaks better than we all. And so many, we all keep comparing each other. And that is the biggest problem in life. So when is the comparison? When I know that his inside and my inside is the same through this holistic science, then the outside comparison doesn't have any place at all. And competition. See, when I want to run my business, I will see that everybody is competing. So that I earn my dollars. So we have to be very wise enough to understand these trick of the trade and free ourselves from all kind of competition. Now, how does the holistic inner science have this different understanding, visions of life? We have so many shops around. I go to a mobile shop and have to get an iPhone. I go to a hardware shop. I go to HEB. I go to Walmart. But now many things are available almost everywhere. You go to pharmacy and you get pen, stationery, you get medicines, of course. So the holistic science says you open happiness shop. And it is there in your hands by a simple inner decision. I want to help others. I don't want to hurt anyone through my speech, through my action, through my thoughts. And I want to give happiness to others. Just this inner decision will change your life totally. I need to have a vibrant nature, helping nature. My inner willingness to help others, I get help from anywhere in the world. When I am in need, I don't have to ask for help. I don't have to ask for any help. It just comes to me. Oh, you're looking for this? I'm there. I'll take care of that. This is what. Every action of our mind, we can body do affect us first. So he is saying, the world is within me. One good holistic revelation is whatever that goes on within me, I come about the world outside. So if things change within me, the world will change. So if my inner self is positive, I will see the world positive. Resolve not to hurt anyone using your mind, speech, and body. So what we say, I don't want to hurt through that form decision and conviction, then I'm very clear in that every time I end up committing that mistake, it will think of values like I will help myself. The correction is very important. The way we drive on the road, we keep correcting and we stay within the lane, we follow the rules, we follow the speed, we follow the direction, and we reach our destination in the same way when any suffering or anything, if it goes out from mind, spiritual body of mind, it comes back to the process. So if I take care that no one is hurt through my thought, speech, and action, then nobody can do that to me. That's the law of nature. So I should learn holistic science tells us, opens the vision to look inside. Happiness, see, it's like when I'm really happy, my smile is like that. But when I'm negative, it's like when I'm comparing, then it is like that. And in between, it's like that. When it is really openly smile, that laughter is something totally different. So now, what is the purpose of my life? My immediate goal and overall immediate goals we have professional goals. Everyone has monetary goals, everyone thinks that, oh, to be honest, what is medical contact, that also is my dream. Oh, this house is like a palace, and it is my dream. I don't want to do something similar for me. But you know the best part of all these lines is revealed. It is a byproduct. It is a byproduct in the sense, if you take care of others, the nature takes care of you. The one who has a big heart gets a big place to live. And one who has a very narrow-mindedness, shallow heart, he gets a small place to live. Think about it. The science of goal is what I decide is happens. See, you all decided to come here, that's why you're here. There are many people who decided not to come here, they are not reaching around. There are so many clothes in your wardrobe, you selected and the child you are coming back. You are shooting all different things. So what we decide, it happens. I wanted to be a doctor like my elder brother, but somehow I ended up deciding to become an engineer, not an engineer. when I look at it. So now, how can I achieve that? So the first step towards it is I use my mind, speech, and body for others through applying nature. I try to help others as much as I can. Actually, if I cannot do physically, that inner intention is there that I want to help, no matter what. Then inner intelligence was unlocked, and main product and byproduct when I take care of others, the nature takes care of me. Further, when I know who I am really, then all the puzzles of my life get solved. I become free from bondage. You know the highest level of bondage what we come across by opining these ways are bad, these ways is bad, and that's how my opinion bothers me to deal with the other person. So when I see that the same inside is there within everyone, I deal with that person outside dramatically as needed, but in my heart, I feel oneness. The feeling of oneness is very important, but that can come only when I know that the same thing which is there within me, everyone will be everyone. I mean that then the divinity can really be experienced. And then we open our permanent happiness because then my belief of happiness changes. I will relish the outside worldly happiness, but with that inner, inside and foresight that's going to go. It's a temporary happiness. So when I enjoy any worldly happiness with that inner understanding that it's going to go, when it goes, I have no problem. Because whatever comes has to go. Whatever has come will go. And ultimate progressive truth will come to know who we really are. What are our main hurdles of happiness? Our inner clashes only. When we have clashes inside, it will get reflected outside. So, if we have problems outside, then definitely it is reflection of what is inside. So instead of trying to resolve matter, let's solve problems outside. What we need is to handle and correct ourselves from inside. Human interaction, finding faults. When we know how the nature works, how the world works, then we will not find fault in others. We will never blame, we will never have conflict, we will never have lack of harmony. Instead, we will have harmony, positivity, and love. Love relates to oneness. That's why we say we don't like this. And we pull our hand like that. Positive vision for daily living. How can we use the ideas, visions given by the holistic science? It says if I have the inner decision to avoid clashes, no matter what, this is my decision, then I may come across tricky situations outside, but my inner decision will help me avoid the clash. The way we try to avoid any accident by all possible means, because somehow inside we have decided I want to avoid accident. Everyone is correct by their viewpoint. Everyone is correct. The child is correct by his viewpoint, the elder is correct by his viewpoint, one who follows a particular religion is correct by his viewpoint. So everyone is correct wherever he or she is. But we need to understand that. We are just totally on the road, that's how we reach the destination. So same way, if we have this adjustment, feel of adjustment, it's like the moment I just say, now I decide I want to go back home, or go back to our place, then can I start walking in a straight line? There's no way I can go and reach home in a straight line. I adjust, move around, follow the road, follow the direction, and that's how I reach the destination. So adjustment is the key for successful association, wherever I am. And one more revelation by holistic science is we always try to find what qualities I have, others should also have. But today's time is such, we are like in a garden. In a garden, there are all different species, different kind of plants, flowers, fruits. And if we see that every fruit, every flower has its place, has its role to play in the world, in the garden, the world is a wonderful garden. So if we come across cactus, now, I will not like to put in the front of my house, but I will put on the fence. But wonderful flowers, roses, I will put in front of my house. So this is where I will use the description and make use of individual in this topic, understanding their values. Home can be a heaven on earth. So if we bring our home as experience given by Sarah, who just said that she takes care of her home, and for her the world is wonderful, but that's how her world is. So if we take care of your home, our world is taken care. So we don't have to run around and bring the world out of the world, but if we have owned the house, then we are done. Home with good mutual dealing, love, care, and sharing, and life will be wonderful. What we need is to make a decision that I want to do like this, and it will happen. How the family dealing should be. A wonderful marriage, again, it is said that the husband should feel that I am my wife's wife. How do you like that? Oh, of course, the wives will always like that. Wives will always like that. So that is how you can feel the heart of your wife. So we are celibate, but we know how to deal with people around. And it is a wonderful revelation. We really have to understand what it means, and when we start practicing it, what we mean with right understanding will become part of our life. You really become good friends, best friends, and free from having bond. You will not have even opinions for each other, and mentally you always be one. Kids, they are like glass, have a little clear. We all experience that. You try to deal with them little harshly and then they get by. They just wait for my 18 years, let me finish that. And then so don't let that happen. To take care of them, see, just imagine, when they were small, you took care of them. When you grow old, you will need someone to take care of you. So if you have taken care of your children properly, they will take care of you. You won't have to go to the old man's house and take care like that. You won't like that. Everyone wants to be with their children. That's how our life is. And Professor Dean, how can you manage that again? Garden and agreement attitude, how we can deal with our audience, with our boss. So it really helps us, and with the holistic vision, holistic science, we see the divinity in all things like seeing God in everyone. So we say that our workplace will become like a temple or a church. So how nice you feel when you go to temple or church, the same feeling you will have. Along with the competition and all that stuff, I will be there. At heart, you won't be, will be totally at peace. Interconnected living, that love is very important, that oneness, that feeling of oneness is very important. We may talk of unconditional love, but with this understanding, we will definitely achieve that. So I am in everyone is in me, so there is no problem. What would be my self-interest? The world is our own echo. With this understanding, I will never fight anyone outside. It is because of my projection. So if I change my projections now, that will change for me. And also Islam gives a wonderful idea about how you can change your projections. Dishonesty is the best policeman. We know about honesty is the best policy. But the holistic science has revealed a wonderful thing. When you have double negative, it is surely positive. So it says, dishonesty is the best solution. So every time you try to be dishonest, you immediately come to know that it is the best solution I have made in my life. So I would not have to do it. I will change. Our mistakes are our faults. Nobody has any right to come to you. But if you commit a mistake, like we see the policeman following us, but when you know that you did not go within the limits of your street, you won't worry. You know that he is not coming after you. Although he could be behind you, that is the thing. Forgiveness. Forgiveness, what it means, it's like we are humans, so we have every possibility that we will commit a mistake. And the best part is keep correcting yourself to forgiveness. So one who forgives the other person, even before the other person tells you to do anything, you have won the heart of the other person. How can I remain positive? Self and circumstances only. It's a wonderful revelation again. In this world, there are only two things. The divinity which is there within us and circumstances outside. That's what the holistic science talk about, the relative worldly life living and the real perpetual self living. And see what is left, what is lost. In the sense, people say that when they want to go on, they say, what do you see? And they say, this bottle is half filled. So my happiness also goes down. But when I say this, I mean, people say it's half empty and my feelings go down. But when you say it's half full, my feelings become positive. So it depends how you look at things. Difficulties are learning for self. What it means, just imagine. Does success teach you more or failure teach you more? We are not afraid of failure. That doesn't mean we invite failure, but if we ever fail, we should take in our mind very positively that nature is giving me a wonderful opportunity so that I never commit a mistake again. That's it. The science, Mr. Ian Taylor, he came across a lecture in his private and I think so about 76, 77 years old. And people would come and try to classify him, oh, you must be in pain and all that. He responded very positively. I have met with an accident, but since then, from that moment itself, it has started healing. That's the best part. We are not kind of traveling as train is moving. What it means, normally what people say, oh, you came from India, 22 hours of journey, you will be very tired. As if I feel pain, it's like I did everything. I was sleeping, I was eating, I was enjoying. I mean, I should never feel tired. And of all the things, you must be having jet lag. I say that jet has the lag, but I don't have it. The reason, a wonderful adjustment what the master has also taught us. Wherever you are, you follow the time there. You will never have any problem. Just an example, very recently, a week back, someone came from India, he did not follow the timing over here. So he said, from the time he is come, I am sleeping all the time. And now 3 or 4 days are over and he is still sleeping. It is very important. You follow the time and it will happen. Our great scientist of the millennium, he said, there is an opportunity in every difficulty. I am thankful to all those who said me no because of whom I did not say. It's wonderful to see things very positively. How can I remain positive during illness and bad events? Illness is a reparative process. in saying whatever mistake what we have committed, we is trying to repair us. And really it does that. So if we have this attitude, we will not feel bad about it. Try to make use of the blessings around and it will do good. Distinguish between the sufferer and the church. One who knows the suffering, then he will be free from suffering. Do not incur double loss. What it means, I have lost somebody well in my house. So definitely I have to feel bad about it. But because I could not handle that situation positively, I go into depression. So that is the second loss, which is because of my lack of understanding. Because whatever he has done, whatever has done, he has really freed me from my mistakes. So if I have that attitude and real vision, understanding inside, I don't feel bad about it. I will see positively that there were so many things he could have done, but he just got away with this much. So I'm happy thank you so much. Is my behavior driven by opinion? Affects the opinions affect us first. So if I have positive opinion, I will follow it. The true understanding and definition of freedom is when we are free from all kinds of opinions. So bad people are nature's best cleaners, like how we talk about the brothers. How can I forgive myself? See, the process is through retrospection, I observe myself where all I have gone wrong. So when I understand that here I went wrong, I accept it, I confess my mistake, I feel sorry for it, and I resolve I will never do it again. This is a very scientific process for changing ourselves. We first need to forgive others because in any situation, if I am suffering, it got to be my fault. But I look at others at fault because he didn't partly my suffering. But truly, he is not at fault because the one who suffers is truly at fault. Whatever happens is just and correct. So I will not try to investigate and waste my time because I am suffering. Truly speaking, who I am is nature of yourself. Let us understand when I am who I am, it will be taken by Mr. Mehta. Let's go further. Another important aspect of life, art and science of communication, the whole science has been very well nicely revealed all this about food and having time and other things also, which will be taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vito and Mr. He did a very good job in engaging us in that presentation. We're going to take, in the interest of time, we're going to get down the question session to 5 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, just raise your hand and we'll bring your mic over, and we can have that discussion started.
So, if anybody has issues,
Yes.
Oh, that's.
Yes.
What do you mean by wholesome living?
Wholesome living, what it means. People do workout. People do workout. They only build their muscles and their legs are weak. Can it happen? It can happen. People who just run, their legs are strong, and their whole body is weak. For instance, wholesome living means perfection in every aspect of our life.
How do we achieve that exactly?
Your inner decision is important. The moment you decide, it opens your vision and understanding in that direction which was not open when you never thought about it. Well, just a moment, let me example. Everyone tries to please their boss. but they don't take care of their employees, people who are working under them. And you know what is the first revolution for that? You take care of your subordinates, the boss will take care of you. You understand? But we try to please the boss, because we feel that he's going to take care of me. No, if you take care of your subordinate, your boss will take care of you. This is a very great insight.
Thank you so much for the answer. And the other question is to maintain harmony within body, mind, and speech. Keep a perfect equilibrium within it, and to achieve that. If a person achieves that, it becomes a perfect man. It's so difficult to achieve and keep a balance of his body, mind, and
So if you tell it difficult, it will become very difficult. When you say, I want to do it, it becomes easy.
no, saying is easy. And this holistic science is based on that. We have to keep our body, mind, balance between body, mind, and speech. We try to achieve. And if a person achieves that, then he is a perfect man.
We have taken example of what the sons of Dr. Mehta, the two masters, the visionary masters, they are giving example. They were humans. They are human. And looking at their exemplary life, we get the motivation that we cannot do it. What we lack is
In your thought that we lack that effort.
no effort. I'm saying the same. The moment you decide, the effort and all those things will take care of you.
Every day when we do this prayer or we decide to keep a balance between all the body, mind, and spirit.
We do not try to keep balance because it is, they are not in your hands. And the decision is in your hands. You understand? It will happen. To change, you don't move the wheels. You steer it and the wheels change their right.
I think a more detailed answer will come as the sessions are going to.
Okay.
And we have the question answers.
Okay, quickly.
Okay. So the time is.
Okay. Beginning of the question session, please.
So we do all longer questions, we just want to make sure you write them down, that way we don't forget you, or you don't forget your question, and then, just because of the interest of time, and that way we can always take your questions later on at the very end, and we'll have the entire panel to answer that as well. So, if you need pen or paper, just let us know, and we'll give it to you, that way you can write your questions down. Thank you. Okay, so to continue, we are going to do a really quick 5-minute experience, a personal experience of one of our attendees today. Mr. Jay Patel will come and share his experience of the holistic science vision and purposeful living.
Yes, basically I met Dada Vimal, absolute scientist in '87, and I'm here because of him. So I was able to see myself how I am here. First, when you look at, you can correlate your own life with the lifespan. At first 7 years of your primary school, you don't think about anything, but you just follow the instructions of parents and all that. I entered the high school, and in high school in India, I'm correlating with my life. I hope you will apply the same with your. For the younger ones, it may be difficult because it's an internet era. But in our time, in high school, we had like 5 languages to speak and learn, and one of them option was the Sanskrit Sanskrit or Urdu. And doing the Hindu, I still pick Urdu as a language, but I attended one class for 10 minutes to decide, what should I take. So I took the Sanskrit for a 10 minutes class. It was a 1 hour class, but I learned from there that Alasasya Kutu Vidya. Lazy person will never achieve the education. Avidyasya Kuto Dhanam. Adhanasya Kuto Sukham. Without knowledge, you won't earn money. And without wealth, you won't be happy. That I carry through my college years, that same one liner, but keep me in a line, that Alasasya Kuto Vidya. You have to really get yourself what you want to achieve. And this all came because of the Dada Bhagwan absolute scientist vision. And I compare that, how did I end up getting this level and also the freedom. So all the relative freedom, there were people of the same line of thinking, like absolute science, like Dada Bhagwan. There was a guru of Mahatma Gandhi, also taught and followed the one principle, non-violence, and he, without any quarrel or fighting, he ended up free the country. And because of this relative freedom, we all Indians, perhaps the first generation Indians, came here in US because of education, and we are here because of another scientist who were there for Mahatma Gandhi, who in turn free the country, India, and they open up the lines for abroad, like America, Europe, and all the other countries. So that credit also goes to the absolute scientist. And then before, I'm visualizing myself in this cycle that Alasasya Kuto Vidya already disappeared because I was in a Western environment. I attended a lot of technical classes, self-improvement classes, everything, but all was relative to the relative world, which I learned from Dada Bhagwan. That other principle I pick up while I was, before I met Dada Bhagwan, there was a seminar and Think and Grow Rich and 7 Habits of Highly Skilled People and all those things. I read all these things. I pick up one of the self-improvement classes while I was working is a PACT, model PACT. PACT means perspective for P. Now perspective, all my perspective, and then A for autonomy means you manage your own life. Connected means PACT. Connected means your social networking, and then tone is your physical living. So that PACT model, after I met Dada Bhagwan, is changing to relative to real self. So I was able to do better than before because of this experience I have with the holistic science. All the things you read, I'm sure I'm talking out of box things here, but I hope you will relate these to your own life and compare. And right now, I'm in a situation where I don't have that fear I used to have before I met Dada Bhagwan, or controllable greed and anger and all those things. So this was the, when you look at it, the ultimate truth. Once you have the ultimate truth, real self, then everything becomes like a relative, means temporary. And I'm enjoying this holistic science life because of the great people from my state, Gujarat, who Mahatma Gandhi was there, and now the Dada Bhagwan and Sardar Patel, and now recently Modi. Thank you.
That's a great experience. We're going to move on to our next session, and I'm going to reintroduce our enthusiastic eye surgeon, Dr. Mehta, and he's going to talk about discovering the world within for a rich inner living.
Also, if anybody needs any paper for questions, please let me know. I'll provide the paper for you. Thank you.
So let's take forward our inner journey. Mr. Deepak Mistry has taken us a long way, and my job is how does it work within. I am trying to take you a little deeper. Who is driving us? Answer from everybody. Can you answer for yourself? Who is driving us? Mr. Prabhupada drives us our car, but who is driving us? Mind. What else? Is it only mind? Desires. Anything else? Expectations. Well, so it's not only mind, it is a whole relative inner self in the form of mind, reflective consciousness, intellect and ego. But is it at all? No. It's under the influence of beliefs or visions, my opinions. Further than that, my intents or motives. Do you think that behind each action, behind each relation, behind each moment of our living, there is some intent or motive? Yes. Purpose or goal, Deepak has already told, and coupled with that, subtle inner weaknesses of anger, pride, greed, deceit, attachment, and aversion. So this is what all drives me. This is just to make you aware. Now, a word about inner self functioning. How does my relative inner self really function? It functions like a parliamentary system, maybe US Parliament or Indian Parliament. So, supposing today is Saturday and your mind, once receiving this invitation, might have shown you different thoughts. No, let's go to friend's house. No, the laundry is pending. Let's clean the house. Or some other work is pending. And for any work, the mind does show us the different thoughts. Now, my reflective consciousness shows me the pictures. Without ticket, it can go anywhere. I need the ticket of a flight, but the reflective consciousness without ticket goes and shows my house in India. It can go to my friend's house. It can go to mall and everything. And then the intellect decides what is in my benefit and what is not, pros and cons, whether they are in the terms of worldly. Sometimes I calculate, oh, this relation will be useful to me in my business. This will fetch me this much, or I may look towards my inner benefit. And after the majority, whether mind plus intellect or reflective consciousness plus intellect, once the majority is done, the Mr. Ego President has to sign it. And unless the Mr. Ego President signs it, the action doesn't start. Why it is important to understand? Because knowing my inner self machinery, I can make best use of it. And again, there can be forces of weakness, bad habits versus the forces of wisdom or inner strength. So they say that whatever understanding you have, it's beginning based on which you can use your discretionary vision to decide in your relative inner self, and then only it goes into the action. Now, mind. What is mind? How can one control mind? There are so many things going on. People go to Himalayas, people go to meditation classes, people resort to so many things trying to tame or control their mind. Can one stop roaming of the mind? So many times we hear the people that no sooner I try to do meditation, my mind starts roaming at all the places which I don't want it to be. So what is the scientific thing really? What is the mind? So the holistic science says that the mind has two parts, gross or discharge mind, or it is said is Dravyaman, and the subtle or causal mind, charge mind or bhava mind. Right now what we are talking is about mainly gross or discharge mind or Dravyaman. The mind, as I said, already said, shows us different pamphlets or thoughts from time to time. And if you want to understand your mind, if I want to understand my mind, what should I do? I should keep a graph of week or 15 days or a month, what all types of thoughts are coming. Suppose I come here, 4 friends are sitting in a restaurant, somebody, just at the thought of restaurant, will have not many thoughts of hard drinks, non-veg, gambling and whatnot. And somebody, even if offered, will not have a single thought. What's the difference? Because the complexes or knots which we have got in our mind are different. For whatever complexes I have not brought with me, there will not be a single thought, whereas whichever knot is large will show me many thoughts. So this is
useful to know what type of mind I'm carrying, because then and then only I can deal best with my mind. Sometimes people have a lot of thoughts of business coming even before they start business. Some people have hardly any thought of business throughout their life. They have just the thoughts of jobs. Now, once a professor came to holistic science, he was a very, very brilliant scientist, like more than Dr. Jayant Patel. He said that, can you please stop my mind, because otherwise I'm a very happy person, but my mind is hyperactive and it's bothering me. So the holistic scientist says, I can definitely do that, but you need to have the signature of 5 witnesses before that. Okay, all these my friends can sign it for me. Okay, I'll do that, but then you'll be absent-minded. Will that be all right? Will your wife allow you to stay at your home? So mind is a useful tool. It's not to be stopped or just to be neglected, but we should know how to manage our mind, how to deal with the mind. People try to stop the thoughts. It is so many times it is said that meditation is a state where you should have no thoughts. But how many of us really can achieve that? And why can't we achieve? Because it is unscientific thing. Mind is a physical thing, and it's like a non-ending film going on the screen, one after another. Even in the sleeps, it just keeps on showing us the thoughts. How to manage? I should agree with the thoughts in line with my aim or goal. Whatever I think is in my self-interest, according to my goal, I should say yes. All other thoughts, I should allow them to pass away. I don't care for how many cars are going on the street and how many people are moving. So just allow the other thoughts to pass. Unless I sign it, the mind alone cannot drag me. So mind is not at fault. Mind just shows you different options. Unless I sign it, mind cannot drag me. What about bad thoughts? If so many bad thoughts are coming and it's sort of frightening me, it's trying to take me down, what do I do? One option, I allow them to pass. It's not enough, it's scary. So I should take the resort to confession, apology, and resolution. For whatever bad thoughts which I'm fearing that it can drag me, I can generate the reverse or contradictory force by doing confession, apology, or resolution, or ask for inner energy. Right? Or I can change the track of the mind with positive, inspirational readings, or some silly readings, some silly music, or something else. So let the mind go away, and I keep myself engaged. So that's how. Now, some important revelations about mind. Can anybody just tell how much secret we are harboring within ourselves, which we are not really wanting to reveal to others? Whether to our life partner, whether to business partner, whether to government. And it is said that whatever has been kept secret is because of fear and shame. Because I feel either fearful or shameful, and this is my mental baggage. This does keep me bound and bothering. Mistakes once allowed becomes habit. First time, your inner conscious may warn you that please don't do this, it's not for us. But once it is done and you sign it, oh, it's all right, it happens. And then it becomes a habit. So take care that the mind is not spoiled. And these biggest corporates and all the MBAs, they know this secret, so they throw you the freebies. This is free, that is free, that is free. So you fall in a trap. Once your mind is habituated, then you are going to go to buy that. How the mind is born? Opinion is the father of mind and language is the mother of mind. So if I want to know my mind, I should know my opinions, what all opinions I'm carrying. So my mind is born out of opinions and languages. If I can take care of the opinions, I can take care of my mind. I'm just purposefully living the causal mind or charge mind because that's a little more subtle part. We'll deal it with some other time. Reflective consciousness. Now, if you see, so far people have talked only of one entity, mind. And probably they meant that everything is included in the mind. But for better understanding, it's better to understand at least. I went through several scriptures and other things, except for very light ones, the people, only mind has been described. And there has been reflective consciousness mentioned sparingly. So what does the reflective consciousness do? It does the function of knowing and seeing. And it roams within and without. If there is itching here, it will go here. If there is pain in the tooth, it will go there. Or otherwise, it will keep on wandering outside. it is this reflective consciousness which experiences happiness and unhappiness. So what happens? I'm sitting here trying to study or focus, but my reflective consciousness may be moving outside. And this is what is bothering me. So people say that be there, whatever work you are doing. If you are eating, eat in presence of reflective consciousness. Now, for how many of us we can eat or take our dinner or lunch in presence of reflective consciousness? Can somebody tell me how many of us really eat in presence of reflective consciousness? Very few. Either we are watching TV, we have gone to Iraq, we have gone to Syria, we have gone to India, and the body is eating and we don't know what we are eating. So be there, whatever you are doing, whether eating, reading, or doing any work. So much so that holistic scientists say that if you are not eating in presence of your reflective consciousness, you are inviting high blood pressure, heart attacks, and other diseases arising out of stress. So, but how can I remain focused in the age of multitasking? On a red light signal also we are sending SMS and receiving and doing this and that. And that's why the people have to come out with a mindful awareness course. Like be there, single task. But anyway, and there are a lot many distractions in the present world. Sometimes I think, oh, what's wrong? For half an hour I saw that, I enjoyed myself and I come back. No, that does leave the impression I have to clean that up. And whatever impurities I'm allowing it to collect from this open world of internet and other things, it becomes distracting for me. So be careful. So if I try to see how my reflective consciousness is being used throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout my lifetime, then I can have the best account that how best I should be getting out of it, whether I'm sleeping down or whether I'm moving up by inspirational or spiritual things. The impure reflective consciousness is centered in infinite objects. And that we come to know when we really try to meditate or when we really try to sit silent, we know at how many places it is wandering, whereas the pure reflective consciousness is one which is stabilized in the pure self or returns to the home, but that happens only when I know who am I. So the people say, now there are a lot of yoga classes going on. I'll deal with this in the afternoon session also. But one of the purpose of yoga is to restrain the wandering reflective consciousness to keep it within. But it is really seeming difficult. Maybe for a few minutes, but as soon as I go to work, why this is difficult? Because the reflective consciousness is in search of happiness. And it is like, I give the analogy, suppose a small child has a chocolate in his hand, and I'm persuading you, give me chocolate, I'll give you a better one. Does he give? No. But no sooner I give Kit Kat, he will grab the Kit Kat and leave the chocolate. So this holistic science doesn't ask you to leave anything, but makes you to taste the superior happiness with which your reflective consciousness automatically comes to the home, and it automatically rests with the self. If I can show the reflective consciousness superior happiness, intellect. Today is the world of intellect, and it is the indirect light coming through the medium of ego. So my ego, so is my intellect being used. It shows the profit and loss, it makes one judgmental and emotional. Most of the times the intellect is being used perverted, meaning thereby I'm using for getting more and more money for me, not putting the interest of my consumers or patients ahead. And as Deepakanand said, if I can put the interest of my consumers or patients, that let them be happy by me, or let me be of some help to them, the rest of the things are going to follow. So, righteous intellect can make not only me happy, but the world around me also, but at least me. Ego. So I am there, I am name-bearer, and I am doer. Is the basis of ego. It is the existential state of my being. I know that I am Shailesh. People say that whenever I walk tight, it is ego. No. The very belief that I am Shailesh, I am name bearer, I am ophthalmologist, I am doctor, I am father of someone, I am son of someone. That I, sitting somewhere else, not knowing my real self itself is ego. And Mr. Einstein said that ego is one upon knowledge. Now we have to find out how much knowledge we have, either from our ego or from our knowledge, we have to say why the ego has got to go down. But anyway, I'm not here to condemn the ego. The ego will be there as long as my body is there. So now the next is, how do I use my ego? If I use my ego positively, that is to love, share, care, help, smile, I can do wonders. Even the Krishna had the highest form of ego, that no, I want to protect dharma against adharma. Gandhiji also had ego, I want to make my country free. So the ego in its higher forms, higher translated forms, can do best jobs. But when it is a negative ego, when I'm a boss, they all must listen to me. So when my ego is used, I'm a husband, my wife must obey me. So the ego used for asserting myself, for criticizing, for finding faults, make me unhappy first and then the others. And there are only 3 sentences. If you want to be happy in the relative world, use your ego positively. If you love unhappiness, use your ego negatively. If you want mix, use your ego mixed way. If you want permanent happiness, if you want to get liberated, aspire for egoless state. Is it possible? Yes, very much possible. Once I know who am I, really, my I sits in my pure self, and even though I'm doing everything and saying that I am, inside I am ego free. So this egoless state is very much possible. All these humans are nothing but different forms of ego. And it is said that there is not crowd or population a problem, but it is a crowd of ego which is a problem. And never hurt anyone's ego. If you want to really become successful, one who knows how to manage others' ego in a friendly, loving, caring, sharing way will be a very, very successful people. So I think the holistic science will come out sooner or later with new habits of the people to become successful within and without. Now, as we were saying, that the beliefs, visions, and opinions, I'll come to it in the next slide, and there is a push and pull between my present personality and my understanding. Once you go home, you have the new understanding of holistic inner science, but you will be carrying your old personality, and they'll be working too differently. How to do that, I'll tell you in the next things. Beliefs and effects. Beliefs are very basic and pivotal in the life. Beliefs are very basic and pivot of everything in the life. In fact, I can go ahead and say that the whole life is nothing but bundle of beliefs and psychological effects arising out of the beliefs. Because all the perceptions and experiences of mine, within and without, are as per my beliefs. How? We'll see. We have many beliefs about happiness and unhappiness. If the things are according to my belief, I feel happy. If the things are not according to my belief, I feel unhappy. Let me give you one example. I feel that people should have a simple, easily digestible, home-cooked food. So wherever I'm going in USA, I'm not revealing, but I feel unhappy at the dietary habits of the people. Because it's my belief is different. They are enjoying very much. I am not enjoying. So likewise, we have all different beliefs on all different walks of life. A classical example, Warren Buffett, probably the most richest man in the world, but he lives in an old small house. Whereas our Mukesh Ambani, he built a so big a house that the whole world has to take the notice of it. These are just the differences of beliefs I'm talking. So our beliefs of happiness lies in the money, sensual pleasures, object reference, comparison, all what the Pakananji has told you. Whereas the holistic science believes for happiness lies in obliging others, rather caring for others, and ultimately knowing who am I. So the beliefs of all the people, folk beliefs, what we say, is different, and belief of holistic scientists is different. And what I am believing ought to be or ought not to be good or bad gives me the effects of pleasure or pain. Parents have beliefs about my daughter-in-law should be like this, or my son-in-law should be like this, or even we have the belief that my partner should be like this, and when they are different from them, we really find it hard time to adjust, right? Or to accept, and sometimes throughout the lifetime we may not be able to accept that. But if I'm aware that it is only my belief which is causing the problems, probably I will try to handle my belief. Ownership beliefs. Once a gentleman got a phone who was an old friend that, oh, your house is on fire when you're on vacation. This and this much house. And that gentleman on the phone was laughing, no, 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 I don't care. Oh my God, your house is on fire, you don't care? No, no, I have already sold it 1 week back. So against the few dollars, the mindness is gone. So all the effects are gone which were associated with mind and mindness. And a girl is unknown to me. Once I exchange the ring ceremony, engagement, or my wife, everything changes, possession and everything. But once the divorce occurs, everything again changes back or one passes away. So the idea is be aware about the beliefs. Then what are the correct beliefs and incorrect beliefs? The beliefs which lead me to happy, harmonious, rich, meaningful inner living, and so to say my world around and makes others also happy, or vice versa, are the correct beliefs. And the incorrect beliefs which are bothering me, which are leading me to differences of opinions, disputes, clashes, stresses, and other things are probably my incorrect beliefs. On a relative plane. If you see whole families, societies, nations, they are nothing but conglomerates of beliefs. But still, there is a common thread of humanity. In amongst all diversities, there is a thread of humanity, which is what holistic science is trying to find out, that in the entire world, holistic scientists say, what is that common thread of humanity? We are humans, and as a human, we have the human science, that if I try to oblige others, see, each action of my mind, body, speech, before making others happy, it makes me happy first. If no sooner I try to say you are a nice person, even before I say my face is smiling. No sooner I try to say you are a stupid and bastard, even before I say my face is proud, I do not like to see my face in a mirror. So the very important aspect is each action of my mind, body, and speech, before affecting others, do affect me first. What is my own ego is not only from outside. I may say, Prabhupada, you are a good person, but he may or may not say me you are a nice person. But no sooner I say if you are a good person, the inner echo of my action does give me positive or negative effect. So there is a common thread of humanity, and if this is taken care of, I think no diversity can really lead us to any confusion, but can make us and ultimately believe about the state of being, which we'll see in a moment. Opinions, Deepak Anand is already dealt with, but unless I myself started looking at, okay, let me review how many opinions I'm carrying, and you will not believe, for 4 days I had to continuously sit 1 hour and see each and every person I met in my life, I was having some other opinion. Now, if I have opinion Prabhupada is a good person, no sooner Vijay Bhai talks about Prabhupada, he's absent, I start feeling happy. But if I have the opinion that Prabhupada is not a good person, no sooner Prabhupada takes his name, even though he is not present, I start becoming annoyed or start suffering. So opinions, art and science of communication. I would say that in this present world, who has mastered the art of communication well, will become a very successful person. As along one art is adjust everywhere, but this is another important art. Word is the word. It can make or break everything. 2 words of Draupadi, blind son of a blind father, and the whole Mahabharata came up. So, if the words are taken care of, everything worthwhile is taken care of. Of course, I'm not talking about grammar, which are poor, but what should be the quality of the speech? It should be non-hurting, especially it should be non-hurting, not harsh, but soft and sober language. So you may come across a small handout as 9 divine codes of conduct or universal projections for holistic living, and there some codes are listed, and this one is the code. And it should be beneficial. See, why the speech becomes sort of hurting to others? Because I feel I'm right. I must convey the truth to others. How long can I keep myself restrained from not conveying the truth? Yes, you are true, you are right, but only truth is not important, it should be beneficial to others. Whatever I am talking, is it going to benefit to whom I am talking? It should be short or concise. We keep on repeating the same story for the whole day. It should be loved by others. Is our speech loved by others? Usually not. Even if they are showing us the board, please stop, we are not stopping. And it should be truthful. So how the speech is being formed? This is very beautiful revelation, how really the speech is being formed. Because before even I can think to respond, it reacts, and the speech does come out. There's hardly any time for me to decide what to speak. So I should know how the speech is being formed. It is formed by codes. And whatever codes I have brought in my personality, it becomes operational at the time of event or interaction. From that, shorthand and speech comes out. But how the codes are being generated? Suppose I have a code, I must tell the truth upfront. So many people have code. I must tell the truth upfront. And then the speech, they will have that type of direct hurting speech. I must be strict. All the CEOs and managers, most of them have this code. And that's how their speech is not loved by others. I am right. That implies that you are not right or you are wrong. Again, my speech will not be good or it would be hurting. So the holistic scientists have different codes. They have the codes that let my speech not hurt viewpoint of any person, but let it encompass the viewpoints of one and all, and he always tries to speak positive aspect and not the negative aspect. But now very important question, after hearing so many things from Deepakanandji and from me, as he was asking, what can I do to achieve this? How to change and what to change? Can I readily change behavior or personality traits? How many of you are really able to readily change the personality traits which we are carrying? Can I readily change the fruits or effects? No, I need to change the seeds or causes. So, present personality or mind, speech, body is the result of previous ingrained beliefs or opinions. So it reacts or becomes effectively. People say don't react but give response. Don't react but give response. How to? So it is a fruit, result, or discharge. Science of behavior and new decision. Holistic inner science does not ask for forcible change of behavior. But then what does it ask for? It leads to easy, correct understanding. So Deepakanandji said decision, let me add one more thing. First, correct understanding is required, because then and then only you can make the correct decision. So first step is the correct understanding. So by the correct understanding, my inner opinions, decisions and projections are changed automatically or naturally, and behavior would result in future. So by way of correct understanding, once the inner opinions and decisions and projections are being changed, new causes or seeds are being laid down. And this is also true in sense of karmic bonds, which I am not going into detail. So to summarize that all these holistic science reasons which is taught of happiness, of obliging nature, each action of mind, body, speech do affect me first. World is me, world is my own ego. All these understandings change myself from within. So people ask, it is easy to hear, it is easy to believe, but it is not easy to practice. I say it is the most easy to practice. But practice at which level? First, it changes within. It brings the inner change, and then it brings the outer change. So all these reasons bring the inner change, and then automatically the outer change will occur. So this is the most easy scientific way. If I have to summarize this much part of the talk, I would say that in the morning, do 2 decisions or projections. Which 2 decisions? Whomsoever you believe or not believe, whether you are atheist or amethyst, resolve that let my mind, body, speech not hurt any living being, but rather let my mind, body, speech make one and all happy. This is resolution first. Second resolution, I want to know who am I, what's my true identity of my real self, and I want to experience that so I can have best of both. That these are the 2 principal projections. Then there are 9 codes given. So you will see in your kit or maybe in the desk, which we'll discuss later on. Decide and project. So based on the correct understanding, we decide and we project. We remain sincere to whatever we have understood, decided or projected. And if required, work harder, pray, leave race to nature. Don't bother when the change will occur, when the fruits will come. This is your duty. And wherever still there are lapses, I have the rescue of confession, apology, and resolution, which we'll deal with in the later sessions. Now coming to who am I? Am I dollars? Yes. In America, I'm dollars. Okay? Am I these big houses? Oh, supposedly I'm also this. But when I say my money, my speech, my body, my name, then who is I saying is mine? When I say this is my wristwatch, the object to which I am saying is mine, and the one who is saying is mine has to be different, right? Once I watched a very good movie on a TED, T-E-D-D, TED, and the title of the movie was "I Am Not the Body Self." I'll tell what it was about. Let me finish this. So even I say my feelings, I never say I am feelings. I say my karmas. I never say I am karmas. I say my ego. I never say I am ego. So whatever I am saying is my. Does it have the beginning and end? Everything under the section of my. My feelings comes and goes. My karmas comes and goes. My thoughts comes and goes. So the entire portion of my is ever changing, and it's having the beginning and end. Then, if I look within, whoever is knowing that this is changing and this is having beginning and end means temporary, has to be permanent or non-changing. So that's what the holistic scientist says. Even we say I enjoyed and I slept. And when I say I slept, who slept and who knew it? I was sleeping, then who knew it? So the knower has to be there. So doer and knower has to be separate. Separate my and I with Gnani's understanding or holistic inner science understanding. One who knows that knower has known everything. That is to say, true nature of real self. So to say, the real I is always knowing and seeing what is happening in the portion of my. This portion of my is changing, it is perishable, it is exhaustible, it is of the nature of coming and going. I is inexhaustible, imperishable, it's having its own attributes. And the world is the puzzle itself, and there are two viewpoints to solve this puzzle, one relative, the other real. So, circumstances or objects and self, which Deepak Anand has already mentioned that there are only two things, and routinely, we all say that because of such and such situation, because of such and such person, due to this I am happy or unhappy. But that itself says that I have to yet go ahead, because if it is not the circumstances or situation which is really making me happy or unhappy, it's my vision of looking at the things. So if I can share here my small experience or my inner journey, because I was fortunate to get introduced to this holistic inner science in 1977 as a medical graduate when I was undergoing my medical studies. And from the next day, I started experiencing the different bliss within and enlightened wisdom or prajna, as she was asking, that keeps me alerting every now and then. It's self-functional thing. It functions for me, and it keeps me in my proper place. And both the things are going hand in hand: my career, my relative living, my body speech-wise living, individually and severally. Everything is going, and my awareness of the pure self is also staying with me. So as the birds fly with two wings, as the train runs on two parallel tracks, both the relative and real are parallel, balanced and simultaneous. There is no need for external renunciation. There is no need to run away from the house and become a monk. But both has to move parallel and both has to function well. And this is being done through 5 simple guiding visions of precepts. So ultimately, if we want to live mindful living, there are many, this buzzword is also going around, but only becoming aware doesn't solve the purpose. First, I have to have the correct understanding. Suppose I became angry, and I'm mindful that I became angry, what next? So I should have the resolving correct understanding along with the awareness. I should have the tool to cleanse my mistakes, and my positive experience will reinforce the awareness and reinforce my practice. So that's all about this session. So I hope what Deepak Anand left, I could take you to inside and how this inner science functions. Right? Thank you.
So we're going to continue with the question and answer session. We're also going to keep it really brief to 5 minutes, and then we can always take your questions at the end. So make sure to write them down because we don't want to leave you out if we
do want to engage in their questions.
Was it confusing or was it making the things clear? Let me ask you a question. Clear. Okay. Please. Please. Because this is a little subtle inner journey, so I was little apprehensive. Please.
See, when you say that we have to speak so we don't hurt other people.
Yes.
Okay. What I have experienced is same thing when I say in one group has a different effect, reaction from people, and the same thing in the other group. So is it not on the receiver end also? So how do you know the mind of your audience since you don't know them?
A very good question. The onus or responsibility lies on me. First, I have to be watchful how my speech is affecting the others. It is not their responsibility, it's my responsibility. Second thing, I should try to learn to sit in them and then to talk. It's not that I'm talking to you. When I'm talking to you, I try to feel that I'm within you. And I try to feel as one with you. So try to see, even the worldly people say, put yourself into his or her shoes. So unless that context is there, can you address your whole relation similar way? You have to be different depending on the subjectivity and the relation. Similarly, depending on the situation, you have to be different. But what is most important is, unless I have the correct codes, most of the time my codes are right. I want to prove I'm right. And that's what is causing the real problems. If I have the different codes, then okay, let me first, the whole situation has one secret. We try to handle the situation outside, but without handling my inner happenings, without resolving and getting clarity within me, I cannot handle the situation outside well. So I have one dictum. There are many management courses going on, management of all types. But one who cannot manage the relative inner self, or one who cannot manage the self, cannot manage anybody. Or vice versa, one who can manage the self-based way, everything others will be managed. So I have to see what is what, and that is my awareness. And then only with proper codes and proper understanding. Now the third key is, whenever I'm saying, I'm trying to be bigger than that fellow. See, the sort of advisory tone. I should be smaller than that fellow in a friendly, sharing tone. Then it works. It's not the words which are hurting. It's the ego and the tone behind which is hurting the others. Right?
Thank you. You're very right. Thank you.
Please put your hand up if you want to speak. So wait till I give you the mic so everybody can hear. And if anybody needs a paper or anything, just let us know so we can provide you that.
Okay, if we have no more questions, is there any? If they come afterwards, we have the session specially for questions, don't worry. And we are available afterwards also, please.
One question. Let me come to you.
You kept referring to the word codes. Is that the same codes? Is that the same as beliefs?
The codes get generated as a sum total of beliefs, but codes and beliefs are distinctly different. Yes, beliefs do play a role. As I say, I should be strict, I should be upfront or something. But codes is containing all the things in a given scenario. I put code. Oh, I should be dealing like this. I should be straight. I should be upfront. I should be straight. Or I should be soft and sober. Or I should be loving. Or I should be calm. Or whatever. So if we observe each of us during day in, day out, in each conversation, before the conversation starts, the codes do come up along with the intents. The second most important part is our speech is depending on the intent, which is a integral part of the code. Right now we have the intent of sharing knowledge. So the entire speech is different. And you see me in my clinic and my speech will be different. You see me with my family members, my speech may be different. So codes are little different from beliefs, but yes, beliefs do play a role in codes, but codes are what you can say is something like protocol you have put in your for this particular work. So that's your codes, and once you are watchful within, you will come to know what all codes you have put for your sort of communication or personality or whatever it is. Again, they may differ from person to person. Let me tell you, nobody, whatever annoyed, will speak harshly to policemen or to IRS men. Why? Because the eventuality is known. But against our life partners, even with business partners and even with the business buyers or sellers, we are diplomatic, we are careful, because it will hurt our business interest. But in home, in house, so that's where the codes work, right? No, we are not getting. No. Don't take me wrong. This is not diplomacy. This is my hearty change, my hearty understanding that this is the way to go. This is not diplomacy. This is my hearty, after having understood some part of the holistic inner science. This is my naturality. This is my inner change that lets me be. My speech should be such that it should be non-hurting. It should not hurt anyone's viewpoint. Rather, it should encompass all the viewpoints, and it should be beneficial in larger interest or in interest of others, not for myself but for others. So this understanding itself leads to that sort of naturality. It is not diplomacy. Oh, we will take it in the later afternoon session. Okay. So
One quick, is it
please.
okay? I know I cannot function without the positive ego. I know that. So getting egoless state, I may not be able to ever achieve. That's one. And very quick, reflective consciousness. If you could explain, that would help.
Reflective consciousness in simple terms is chitta vritti. And the pure consciousness is there, but this is reflective consciousness, means it is coming through my beliefs, coming through my ego, coming through my intellect, and as per my beliefs I am finding, attaching or finding object referral or circumstantial referral, happiness or unhappiness. So there is a pure consciousness. It's a part of that, but it's outward, coming through the filters, Instagram or filters or glasses. I'm ophthalmic surgeon, so I love the glasses. So it's coming through different glasses of my beliefs and ego and the state of being. So that's a reflective consciousness, and other is a pure consciousness. Okay?
And then,
In other words, is a chitta vritti or chitta.
And then I will never achieve egolessness.
We'll talk that in a later session. So we break for a small break. 10 minutes small break.
We take a 10-minute short break, and please come back.
Go back to the worldly life, and then we again come back to holistic life.
Anand Parmanand.
Very nice.
May I ask you a question? So, when you deal with the boss, I understand that